So when you think of the Munchies, what do you think of? For most people, it's French fries, potato chips, nachos, typical junk food, unhealthy, right?
Yes.
Well, what if we could make healthy Munchies snacks? Is that even possible? And would they even taste good? Well, today we are going to find out as I make 5 healthy Munchie recipes and taste test them to find out if they actually live up to the name or if they are just a swing and a miss. Now, let's get started. And of course, you know, we gotta start this off the right way by getting into the Munchies mindset first and foremost.
Yes.
So I got my double take gummies today. These are the passion fruit guava, which is personally my favorite flavor of the gummies. One layer is passion fruit and the other is guava. And when you put them together, it tastes pretty good. So the first recipe that we are going to be making is zucchini chips. Now these obviously serve as somewhat of a healthy replacement for potato chips, which I know is a lot of people's go-to munchie snack. But the great thing about these is that they are super simple. It's just zucchini chopped up into slices, and then you put a little bit of avocado oil on a pan and then sprinkle it with some salt. Now I am not a professional chef by any means, so please do not judge my chopping skills. They are very inconsistent slices, but hey, we're gonna have slices on, you know, opposite ends of the spectrum, and we're gonna find out, you know, what way works best. That's, you know, that's more what this is about experimentation, finding if, you know, certain things work or don't work and why, and, you know, just kind of what can we learn from this. Now I'm gonna take my lined baking sheet, spray oil all down it, just to make sure these don't stick. And then I'm gonna lay these out, making sure that they are not overlapping on the tray. Just double hand it, boom, boom. Now with this one, it does take a while because these are gonna go in the oven at 200 degrees for 2 hours. The reason why it takes so long for these is because they need to go slow and low in order to crisp up really well, at least according to the recipe. The rest of the dishes that we're gonna have today are not gonna take as long. This one we're just starting first, so that way it can be done at the end, and there is our oven. So let's go ahead and throw these puppies in there. But first, a little salt. Now, I'm also gonna put a little bit of MSG on mine. That's because I put MSG on everything. Feel free to customize this to whatever you want. I mean, like, if these are chips, you know, make your favorite chips, make salt and vinegar, make, you know, garlic or salt and pepper. Actually, I'm gonna get some garlic powder. Let me get some of that. And that's one of the things I love about like seasoning is you can change the way something tastes completely, but it only adds like 15 calories in terms of the actual seasoning itself. So I tend to go a little bit heavier in terms of seasoning when it comes to stuff like this because the seasoning just adds flavor without adding a bunch of extra calories. All right, let's go ahead and throw these in the oven. We'll get them cooking, and then hopefully by the end of this video, we'll be able to give them a try. All right, now time for recipe number 2. All right, so for recipe number 2, we are making frozen yogurt berry balls. Now this one is also really simple to do. You're just gonna need to get your berry of choice, which I have blueberries on hand. You could do strawberries or blackberries, whatever you have in your fridge at the time. And then we're just gonna take a little bit of Greek yogurt first, if I can get the lid open. And then I'm just gonna put about like 3 big scoops, like heaping scoops of Greek yogurt in there. And then we're just gonna take our blueberries and drop them in there. And like I said, I wanted these recipes to be simple and easy to do because when I get the Munchies, I don't want something that's too complicated. I don't want to have to cook a full 4-course meal. That's tough to say that 3 times quick, in order to satisfy a Munchies craving. And I think a lot of Munchies dishes are kind of made out of necessity. You know, it's the things you have in your pantry. You want something quick and easy that's satisfying. So I didn't want to deviate from that too much. So I tried to pick things that I thought were pretty simple and easy to do with a Munchie brain. Now let's throw these into the freezer. It says to let them sit in there and cool for at least half an hour before we try them. So let's go ahead. Oh, wait, before we throw them in the freezer, I almost forgot. We are gonna add a little sweetness on top of this actually with our agave syrup. So this is actually gonna be infused berries and cream with a little bit of agave. And that's just really going to add more sweetness to it and make it a little bit more satisfying. Now you can obviously use honey here, you can use syrup, but might as well, I got the agave syrup, why not make it infused, you know what I'm saying? All right, now let's throw it in the freezer. All right, so recipe number 3. Now this is going to be no bake oat balls. Now for these oat balls, they are going to be refrigerated. You can keep them in your fridge for a week, but there's no baking involved, which I personally found very attractive because sometimes you just don't even want to deal with turning the oven on, and I can understand that. So to start off, we're gonna need 1 cup of rolled oats, and I'm basically finished with this, so I'm just gonna finish this off here and use what we have in there. We're going to need half a cup of peanut butter or some kind of nut butter. I'm using no sugar added almond butter, just trying to be as healthy as possible. And I'm honestly not one for measuring, if I'm being honest. I just tend to like to eyeball things and see how they turn out, just kind of go with my gut. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do here. It's like I know how much I should be putting in, so I can kind of give an estimation, but that's the reason I'm not measuring. I'm gonna put a little bit more almond butter in there. 1/3 a cup of honey. Now for this, I'm also gonna substitute the agave syrup because really just anything sweet, the agave syrup can basically work in, so. Whoop. Oh, I dropped the lid. So it's basically like 1 cup of oats, and then you do half of that in terms of the butter, and then you do a 1/3 of that in terms of the honey. That looks about right. I'm gonna give it a little bit more. So now these are infused no bake oat balls. 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. So I'm gonna eyeball that a little bit. Very nice. A pinch of salt. All right, and then half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So we're just gonna, boop. Ooh, that was a little much. A little heavy-handed with the vanilla, but that's okay, that's okay. We're all having a good time. All right, now we mix. Now you can add stuff like no sugar added chocolate chips or blueberries or really anything you want. This is super customizable, and that's what I really like about this is you can just make it to taste, make it with what you have. If you have peanut butter and oatmeal, like you can whip it up. If you have honey and syrup, you know, like there's so many ways you can go about making these. It does recommend chilling them for about 15 minutes before you do roll them into balls, so that way they can hold their shape a little bit. So we're just going to mix this pretty well, put a little plastic wrap over top of it and throw it into the fridge, and then we'll roll these out after we make the rest of our recipes. Now time for recipe number 4, and this is going to be sweet potato nachos. Now, I don't know how to feel about this one if I'm being honest. I don't know if sweet potatoes are gonna make a good base for nachos personally, but what I read online said that these are actually very satisfying and serve as a great base. So according to the recipe, you're gonna wanna do 1/2-inch thick cuts on the sweet potato in order to get like a good base. I mean, that's a pretty good amount, I will say. Like if you top that with some ground beef, some cheese, like that is enough for me to make like a dinner with. Okay, so first we need to get these puppies seasoned. So I'm just gonna use my typical seasoning blend that I would when I make like ground beef for nachos. So we got salt, MSG, and then we got some Lowry's seasoned salt. I like my things very salty. I'm definitely gonna have some heart disease issues later in life, but you know what? My food will taste good the entire way. We got some white pepper, garlic, and onion powder. To finish it off, a little paprika. All right, now we're just gonna throw these on a lined baking sheet. These are gonna go into the oven at 400 degrees for 25 minutes. So they're a lot faster than the zucchini chips, for example. So these will go very quickly once we do get them thrown in. Now it is time for recipe number 5, and we are going to be making avocado, well here, let me rephrase, air fried avocado French fries. So I guess it actually wouldn't be French fries. I guess we would call them avocado air fries. That sounds really cool. Okay, now we're cooking. Now we're getting somewhere. Now the gummy is starting to take effect. Now let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to need 2 avocados, and we're just going to cut them in half. And if I didn't say it already, please advise caution if you are cooking at home. Please be safe, use proper knife etiquette, and make sure that you always wash your hands. All right, so let's see if I can get this seed out of here. And then twist and pull. Oh, this one's a brittle seed. I'm gonna have to dig it out. Get out of there. Get out of there. All right, and then we'll get this other avocado started. And that one, I just cut clean through. Did not mean to do that, but we can work with it. This is what cooking with the Munchies is like. I'm just gonna slice through, not all the way through the peel, but just slicing through enough to where we can scoop it out and actually make some avocado French fries. Now, I'm typically not very good at this technique, but we're gonna find out today if I've gotten any better. Oh, broke a spoon. Okay. Get a nice real spoon. There we go. Ooh, almost got it as a perfect clean swoop. Nice, that's the best I've ever gotten it. All right, time for number 2. Ooh, ooh. Come on, come on, come on. 2 for 2, let's go. Am I killing this or what? Oh wow, I'm actually I think getting better actively. Wow, look at that, clean. Next, we're going to make a wet and dry station for our breading. So we're gonna take 2 eggs, crack them in here. And then we are just going to beat these puppies. And then we're gonna take a little panko breadcrumb and pour it into our dry breading station. Now we just got to separate and dip our avocado slices. So I'm just gonna throw multiple in there at a time and then toss them around. Whew. And these are actually really good French fry size slices, so I'm pretty happy with it. Fired up, ready to go. So we're gonna coat them in the breadcrumbs, making sure everything is fully coated. And then we're gonna throw these in the air fryer for 6 to 8 minutes at 400 degrees or until they're golden brown. So it is very quick, especially compared to a lot of these other recipes. But that's what you get with the air fryer. And also with pretty much all of these recipes, you're going to need to flip or move whatever you're making halfway through. So for the sweet potatoes, these avocados, and the zucchini chips, you just gotta flip them over halfway to make sure they cook evenly. I'm also gonna put a little bit of salt on here as well, just to make sure these are nice and salty, just like some French fries. And now we're gonna go ahead and roll out our oat balls now that they've chilled for a little bit. Let's go ahead, I actually have a scooper. Let me use that. Think smarter, not harder. Form this in there and, oh, okay. We're gonna need to compact them a little bit more. Lessons learned, all right. Boom, there we go, all right. So we'll get it nice and compacted in there. Ooh. Very nice, we can work with that, Definitely need the chilling. There's no way these would be forming this well without actually chilling them first. All right, they're a little on the smaller side, so I don't think I used enough oats. That's on me, you should probably measure. But I'm going to drizzle some zero sugar syrup, chocolate syrup on these puppies, so that way they can chill more with the syrup, kind of harden a little bit and add a little sweetness and richness to it, just to kind of up the munchie factor. Woo. Very nice, yeah. Now let's throw these in the fridge and let them set. All right, so we now have most of the recipes finished. We are gonna start off with our zucchini chips, which did finish first. Some of them got a little too dark, I think, but I think for the majority of them, they look pretty golden brown. So I would say I did a pretty good job for my first time with it. Let's start off with, start off with the best one, give it the best shot. This one looks pretty nice. All right, let's give it a try. Okay. Let me try one of these really crispy ones. Oh wow, actually the really crispy ones are actually better. It's got a nice char to it. And it's just very salty where we seasoned it. Oh yeah. I'm not kidding, that's actually really good. That's really surprising. I don't know if I guess it satisfies the chip craving to a degree, especially if you can get them really crispy, like this one. Oh yeah, that one definitely satisfies. I gotta rank this on a scale of 4 to 20, with 4 being the absolute worst and 20 being the absolute best. I think I'm gonna rank these a solid 15. 15 sounds about right. It's surprisingly good, but I don't know if it's like, I'm definitely gonna be having these as a snack moving forward good. And yet it still tastes really good. So, for the right person, this could be a 20. All right, recipe number 2. I've got the berries and yogurt, and I actually froze the fork in the bowl with the berries. But it is frozen, so let's see if I can break it off. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it with a fork. Oh yeah, it definitely, oh look at that, solidified together. It almost made like a bark, like a candy bark. Oh wow, that is actually really good. I need to get a paper towel because I got all over my hands. That is like surprisingly good. It tastes like ice cream and like frozen Gushers almost. Not as, artificial or sweet, but Oh, I'm just gonna say it. If you are like me and you are too poor for a Ninja Creamy, this this is the way to go. It is like a poor man's ice cream and berries, berry sundae. All right, I was good. That was really good. Oh, on a scale of 4 to 20, I think I would give this a solid 18. I know that feels really high, and I'm kind of surprised by myself, but actually I feel like for what you're actually eating, berries and Greek yogurt, I really love ice cream, and this feels like it's just kind of like hitting that munchy craving in an oddly satisfying way. I'm reaching for this. And also, I didn't even think about the fact that the agave syrup is on there, so this is infused too. Completely just like added to the sweetness, but like dissipated so it didn't like gloop up or anything. That's really impressive as a snack, honestly. Now for healthy munchie recipe number 3. These are the avocado French fries, quote unquote. Now this is probably the best looking Munchies dish I've ever made. And I got a little light ranch on the side. I know it's a little bit fatty on fatty, but I figured if we're gonna have like French fries, why not give it a fair shot? So let me grab a crisp one here, crispy boy. Oh. Oh. Wow. That is surprisingly delicious, especially with the ranch and the seasoning. I think adding the salt definitely went a long way towards giving it that French fry appeal. Because you need the saltiness, you need the crunch. This definitely fulfills both of those. And the avocado on the inside is so soft that it mimics like a potato. I am really digging these. I'm blown away. I think if you like avocado this is the dish for you. Like this, like I could probably eat with a burger and be happy. Wow, okay, I gotta rank these. And I think on a scale of 4 to 20, I'm gonna give these a solid 18. I feel very good with that number because while these are extremely delicious, and I think I would enjoy eating these, when I think of a French fry, I just know that this doesn't exactly hit it in the right way, if you know what I'm saying. It is a very nice alternative if you can't have that French fry, but if you had the choice between the two and which will satisfy a little bit more, I think that French fry is a 20. All right, let's move on to recipe number 4. All right. Healthy Munchies dish number 4. Also, just to give you guys an update, I am feeling that gummy. It is definitely taking effect, as well as this Peachy Dream lemonade. So I'm definitely feeling it. I'm in the right headspace. This is the way we should be doing it. All right, so this is the sweet potato nachos. You heard it correct. I am so excited for this. Hot grease, hot grease, hot grease. Woo-hoo. That burned. All right. All right, let's go ahead and give it a try. Typically, I wouldn't eat nachos with a fork, but I figured this plate is piled so high, and it's also sweet potatoes, so I didn't know what the structural integrity situation would be like. Oh, and we got a half hanger here. Let me see if I can knock that puppy off. Yeah, that's hot. That is piping hot. Woo. All right, don't worry, we're good. We can salvage this. We can salvage this. There we go. I also added ground beef onto this, a little hot sauce, and Greek yogurt and shredded cheese. So let's give it a bite. Holy cow. The overall flavor of the dish is through the roof. I mean, like, obviously the ground beef, the shredded cheese, the Greek yogurt, the hot sauce, like everything's well seasoned. Honestly, this is like very delicious. And the fact that it's healthy too, I mean, like, come on, you can't do much better than this. Okay, I gotta go in for a second bite. There's no way, I cannot. And the sweet potato works surprisingly well. Honestly, I didn't think it would taste that good, but it almost tastes like a loaded sweet potato. Like you just cut a sweet potato in half, threw in beef, cheese. I mean, like, that's a delicious recipe right there on its own. Man, I'm gonna eat all of this if we are not careful. And also, this only took 25 minutes in the oven. Like, that's crazy. Typically, like when I make sweet potatoes, they take like an hour. That is the bomb. No shiz. No kizzy. All right. I gotta give this a rating, whatever you wanna call it. On a scale of 4 to 20, I think I gotta go with my gut here. And I think this is gonna get a perfect 20. No kizzy. No, but for real, I do think this is a really good dish. Like, I think I'm gonna potentially add this to my list of like healthy meals that I can make on a weekday, because this was so easy to do, so simple, it was quick, it's healthy, and it tastes great too. I mean, like, that checks all my boxes for a great dinner. Perfect 20. Let's move on to the last and final recipe. We have made it. We are at the final recipe of the night. These look exquisite, if I do say so myself. The chocolate drizzled on top, these look like artisanal balls, if you ask me. Those are some artisanal balls. All right, enough ball talk. We need to give these a try and see if they are actually as good as they look. And of course, you know, I had to have my glass of milk with me because I knew this is about to be some chocolatey peanut oat kind of, you know, like dry-esque, and I got to have my milk with it. All right, so I'm gonna go for the biggest one here, covered in chocolate. Wow, just look at that, it chilled perfectly. And before I take this bite, I wanted to thank you all for joining me on this journey. I hope you get to try some of these recipes because honestly, they're banging. All right, now let's give this one a try. A little sweet treat to end off the review, if you will. Oh. Holy cow, that is amazing. I'm not lying to you. That hits the munchie craving right in the spot. As someone who has the munchies right now, this is definitely doing it for me. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm having like a religious experience with these. I just need a moment, if you will. You gotta hit it with the milk though. Okay, enough dilly-dallying. I need to rank these. And the fact that I'm about to finish this probably tells you a lot about what my ranking's gonna be. But if I had these, I might eat too many of them for them to not be healthy. You know, if I eat like 10 of them in a sitting, that's definitely not healthy, but maybe I could pace myself. And also, I put the agave syrup in these, so these are infused too. That's sick. You could even make protein bars and take them on the road with you. Or if you're going hiking or doing a workout, eat these before a workout, give you a carb boost. For my final ranking of the night for the Healthy Munchies review, on a scale of 4 to 20, I would give these balls a solid 20. That is right. I swear I didn't do it just because of the last recipe. Honestly, this is a great sweet treat and I might eat like all of them right now. So they might not be the healthiest in that sense, but they are delicious and they do hit that munchie craving. So I mean, mission fulfilled. We have a successful list of healthy munchies now. I feel pretty good with all those and I highly recommend everyone give them a try. If you do, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and what you think. And if you do have any munchie recipes you want me to try, please leave them down below. I love reading what you guys come up with, honestly. But that is gonna do it for us today at Hometown Hero TV. This has been Joe. Thank you and have a good one. Peace.